Hi there. Today's topic is going to be ethics. ETHICS. It's similar to morality, but it's a little different. Let me explain. Here's my books over here, right? There's a couple that you'll see that say creative morality, I think it is, or moral courage is right here. Then there's moral development right here. And then there's moral creativity. These are books, whole books, talking about moral creativity, moral development, and moral courage. There's a lot of other books in there. This one is a Bible. This one is a Bible as well. You can tell that one. But this little one here is a it's a two Bibles together. It's actually in Hebrew and English, so you can see the Bible in English and then see its counterpart in Hebrew, which is pretty cool, right? And these four little books here, these are from when I was a kid, so they're like 50 years old, and these are cartoon Bibles in little sections. There were a total of 6 of them to begin with, and I have 4 left, and they're very old. They might even fall apart if I were to pull them out. I don't know, but they're the Bible in cartoon form. So if you've ever read Genesis, it's in a story form, and that's the way people a long time ago, before the internet, we actually would tell our stories to our kids or our grandkids as we got older about things that happened in our lives. And then they would share our stories with their kids, and the stories would get passed on. And then when people started writing, that used to not be a thing. There used to be no such thing as writing at all. Like the letters and numbers that you see, those used to not exist. Those were invented. Yeah, writing was invented by people. And the reason why they did that is so that they could have a memory external to themselves, because they noticed as they grew older that they forgot things. Even you, right now, you forget things, right? You don't have to be old to forget things. And so being able to have an external memory would be really helpful. So somewhere, in the annals of time in the past, somebody thought, well, why don't I use this stick or use this little piece of chalk that I found and, use it to mark something, And so they thought, well, I could use this to remember this. I could use this to do that. And we could, we say words, stop, go, come, don't. And so why don't we, create symbols that will represent the sounds that we make and the words that we make. So in one part of the world, they came up with symbols that would represent sounds only, like A, B, C, D, right? And then on another part of the world, they invented symbols that would symbolize an entire word or even an entire thought. And so you'll see that in Japanese, Chinese, Taiwanese, and the Asian languages, right? They're more of a all-in-one type character. So how does that relate to ethics? Good question. So we started with the books, right? Moral courage, etc. And so the whole idea of ethics, that was somewhat of an invention, but it came more from observation. As in, you can observe that some people lie all the time and some people tell the truth, right? Some people are honest, some people you can't trust. Some people are con artists, they try to trick you. Other people are not trying to trick you, they're trying to tell you the truth. So we noticed, ancient people, thousands of years ago, they noticed that people choose to live different types of lives. And we noticed that it was a choice. You can choose to tell the truth or you can choose to lie, right? I am a popsicle. I am a human being. Which is it? And so I can choose, which one am I going to say? For people looking in at me, they can tell I'm a human being and I am not a popsicle, right? But there are cases where I can say something and you don't know if it's true or not. And so you rely on what I say. And that's where you and anybody else uses deception or can use deception to fool other people. And it starts really young. At an early age of 4 or 5, my brother handed me a dime and asked me to trade it for the nickel that I had. Or wait, it was the other way around. He had a nickel. He asked me to trade it for the dime that I had because he had recently discovered that a dime is worth more than a nickel. And he knew that I did not know that yet. And so he used my lack of knowledge against me. But I knew that something funny was going on. He was probably 5 years old and I was maybe 3, something like that. But I knew something fishy was going on because, he's not going to do that trade without some kind of selfish reason. He's not going to be giving me stuff. This is my brother. This is not my mother. She's not trying to help. My brother is not trying to help me. He's trying to screw me over. Okay. And that's the kind of guy he was. But you can tell a person's character based on their behavior. And they might fool you once, right? But as soon as you realize, oh, I just got tricked. I just got fooled. Well, at that point, you should not believe that other person going forward. If you do, then it's on you, right? You're just allowing yourself to be fooled. And so we as people need to remember how people have treated us in the past. If somebody has tried to con you, trick you, fool you, lie to you, deceive you, you should not trust them going forward into the future. Saying I'm sorry and apologizing is not a change in character. It's a part of the plan to fool you. That's right. That's right. They're trying to trick you into believing that they have suddenly turned a new leaf and they're now a good person. No. They are continuing to try to fool you, and they're trying to soften you up so they can fool you yet again. Yes. That's what a con artist does. They use your weakness against you. And a weakness can be seen as kindness, trust, just plain ignorance, and just agreeing with whatever somebody else says. Not using your mind, not using your caution, not using your critical thinking skills and your memory, not using your memory to think and question. Instead, we just want to walk along and go with whatever somebody else says, and makes us an easy sucker to get fooled. That's how we get followers, right? Not followers online, not Instagram type followers. I'm talking about real human followers, where you have an actual audience. Churches can be like this. Other religions, if they have people that are following them and they're just being led along, and so you have a real strong-minded person who says things that sound good, and then you have a whole trail of followers that believe everything he says, that can be a dangerous situation for those followers. And that leader knows what they're doing. And they are looking for people who will oppose him. Usually it's a guy, so I say him. And they will quickly identify and confront and push away anyone who questions their authority. They like being the boss. They like having their followers, and so they do not want anyone to question them. And so they look for those because there's a lot of them. People that are actually pointing out the truth and trying to help these followers. And the leader does not like that. The leader wants these followers to be ignorant and to continue following them. So we need to, as people, we need to be careful about these kind of weasels, con artists that are trying to trick us. They're trying to use our weak minds against us, or our trusting, in other people against us. So just be wary about that. That doesn't mean that everybody's trying to con you, okay? So that's where we need to be able to distinguish between the two. And that's where integrity, honesty, truthfulness, and a pattern of our character, all of those things are part of ethics. Ethics is about telling the truth, being honest, even when it hurts, not hiding behind things. Makeup, guys or girls, makeup hides who we really are, right? And that's symbolic of not wanting people to see the real you. We lie to ourselves. We don't want people to see the real us. We don't want ourselves to see the real us. Maybe we feel dirty inside. Maybe we feel like we're not good enough. I would encourage you, in a general sense, encouraging you to don't be so hard on yourself. Not everything is your fault. So don't blame yourself for events that have happened to you that you had no control over, because that is not your fault, okay? It's not your fault. It is not your fault. And so you need to learn to say that to yourself for anything in your past as a kid. If anything traumatic happened to you that you did not have control over, or if you disagreed to because you didn't know what was going on, in hindsight, you wouldn't have done that, right? So in those situations, you need to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is a huge thing. It's a part of our memory. It's letting go of past memories where we are judging ourselves or others. And it's really important for us to let go of that kind of judgmental condemnation memory, because it can be self-destructive. It's like we are drinking our own poison and expecting it to harm someone else, right? You might have heard of that. So don't drink that kind of poison. Let go of any kind of past hurts. If someone has lost your trust, you need to keep that, because that keeps you safe, right? You know not to be around certain people because they can't be trusted, right? So definitely keep track of that in your mind and don't let that go. But when it comes to resentment and any kind of self-condemnation, let go of those negative emotions, because those can be self-destructive, like I said. So let's get a little deeper into ethics. Ethics is different from morality in that ethics is not religion-based. There's no religious authority telling you what's ethical. In fact, you can use ethics to question religion. You can use ethics to question morality, specifically when a religious leader, like a pastor, a minister, whatever they call them, priest, a rabbi, I'm not sure what they're called for Islam, but any kind of religious leader, when they start telling you it's wrong to do this and it's right to do that, well, why? And I know they're the religious leader, but why are we supposed to do this? Are we not allowed to ask questions? Well, in a lot of religions, no, you're not allowed to ask questions. Just do what you're told. It's all about obedience, not questioning authority and obeying. Submit, obey, don't question. And that's very dangerous, because you're an individual human being just like they are. Those religious leaders are human beings just like you. They are not better than you. These are human beings. They have a left and a right hand just like you. They have a right and a left leg and foot. They have eyes, nose, and ears just like you. They sneeze. They use the restroom. They sleep at night. They have thoughts. They wear clothes. They go places just like you. Okay? They have parents. They were born. They're growing older. They are not immortal. Okay? They would want you to think that they are. And that's part of their strategy, is to get younger people to believe that they are immortal, somehow superhuman, better than everyone else. But that is simply not true. These are people that were born and think just like you. But what they have decided to do is to con people, to fool people, trick people into believing that they are somehow better than everyone else and that they get to dictate what the rules are. But these are people, and a lot of them are very tricky. They intentionally try to fool people, and anybody who disagrees with them is confronted and attacked. They are bullied, they're attacked, and they use the rest of their group to push those people out. So if you don't submit with the rest of the crowd, you are pointed out and you are kicked out of the group. And that's how the group works. They look for anyone who questions. And so it's a very dangerous group to be in. It's a mob. It can be in Christianity, it can be in Islam, it can be in a non-religious group, it can be a political group where you have to agree with everything the leaders say, and if you disagree with anything, they will kick you out of the group. It can be in high school groups, elementary school, junior high, it can be in college, fraternities, sororities, your work organization. So these different types of groups can be dangerous because they become a hive mind, meaning that they think alike, and you become obligated to agree with the group, or else you can't be part of the group. And so they use your need to be accepted in that group, they use that against you. So you have a choice. You can either submit and obey and agree, or you can be kicked out and not have your group anymore. So it's like friends, you know. Do you want to keep your friends? Well, you need to agree with your friends. If you don't agree with them, then they won't be your friend anymore. And so it's leverage to try to control you emotionally. So they see you're a weak, you have a need. Like if someone is the leader, the con artist leader, they see that people are easily fooled. They see that people want to be followers. They want a leader. And they see that the vast majority of those people following agree with everything you say, making it easy for you to use them and your assumed authority. It's not even real authority. It's an assumed authority, using authority given by those followers. And then you can use both of those things. You can use your followers and their commitment to the leader, and the leader with the assumed authority given by those followers. They can then point out and attack anyone that tries to challenge that leader. That's how that game works. So it's very dangerous, and we as people, you and me, we need to be watching for that. And I know we all want friends, and it's good to have friends, but we need to choose our friends wisely. Anybody who tries to bully you, anyone who assumes that they are better than everyone else, people that try to dominate and bully people into submission to agree with them, those are dangerous people. And I recommend avoiding those people. Even though they look like leaders, they look like they're good people, maybe they look cool, But if they're manipulating other people, if they demand that you agree with them and they don't want you to think for yourself, those are bad people, okay? They might look good, but they're bad people. And they're using their cool looking appearance and their smooth talk to fool people and to get them to submit and obey them, to be their followers. And so how should we do it? How can we make friends? Well, you look for friends that are honest. It's pretty simple, really. There's a lot of good people out there that are honest. They're looking for the truth. They want you to be honest. And so all you have to do is sit there or stand there and listen to people. Just ask a initiating question like, how are you doing? Do you like this class? How long have you worked here? Is there anything going on today? Those initiating initial questions, and then listen close and get to know that person that you want to become friends with, maybe, and see if they're being honest. And the only way to tell if somebody's being honest is their pattern, the way they talk. And it has to be over time, over several days. It can't be, you can't become friends with somebody the first day. You can become an acquaintance, but that needs to be the starting point where you see what their personality is, you hear what they say, but then over time, you can determine whether they're an honest person that has integrity based on their consistency. And what you're watching for is, do they lie to people? Do they lie to you? Do they lie to their friends? Do they lie to other people? And notice that the lighting changes because I don't have any lights on in my house. It's just the sunshine from outside. And so as a cloud goes over, yeah, it looks shaded in here too. So that's why the lighting is changing. I decided not to use some big light. Maybe I should. I don't know. Hopefully you're okay with natural light. It doesn't bother you. So that's how to pick your friends wisely. If they're stabbing you in the back, if in your face they're nice to you, but then when they're with other people they make fun of you, that's not a good friend. Those people are liars. They're two-faced is what we call that. They're also called backstabbers, which means that as soon as you turn your back, they stab you in the back. Not literally, but they will treat you badly when you're not looking. You can also see that on the internet, but it's the most honest way to see someone is in person, like in a group setting. And you want to catch them off guard so that you can see them in their natural state. So you can see if they're being honest or not. I have a person where I live where they're very pushy. There's one person, they're older, like in their 60s, 70s, but they're very controlling and pushy. They demand to be the leader. And if you don't like it, they get hateful. Like really, really mean, hateful. And so people back down because they don't like that confrontation. It's also rude and childish. Even though they're older, that's the way they control the situation. They demand to be the boss. They lose friendships by doing that, but they would rather be the boss than have friends. And that's the way some people are. Also, the same person, when they wanted me to help them with something, and so I walked with that one person, and as we were walking away, they admitted that they lied to the group. And that told me, like, why are you lying to your friends? And so that told me that this person lies to people and about people as it benefits that person. So that for that person, lying is a part of their life. And so that's not a good thing. You don't want to be that way, okay? You need to learn how to live with integrity, live as an honest person that people can trust. If you can't be trusted, I can't rely on you for anything. right? If you're going to lie to me now, if you're going to tell one lie, you're going to tell lies tomorrow. You're going to lie to other people. You can't be trusted. And so I'm not going to rely on you as a friend because, well, you're going to lie. You're going to stab me in the back. You're going to make excuses. You're going to do whatever it takes to serve yourself, and you're going to lie to do it. And so that's why lying is not a good thing for people. You lose respect from other people when you lie. And so it's much better, even if you're prone to lying and you do it as a form of self-preservation, because you feel like if you're being honest and truthful and vulnerable, then people will use that against you. And that's understandable. And I remember as a teenager feeling like that if I'm honest and say I don't have any experience on a resume, well, they won't hire me. So it's a catch-22. I don't have the experience, but I need the job. It's not fair, you know? And so I feel like, well, if I say I have experience, then they'll hire me. But if I say I have no experience, they won't hire me. And so how am I supposed to get hired if, you know, I'm honest? It's not fair, right? And so what I decided to do is just be honest and tell them I don't have, you know, I'm young. I'm 19 years old. I don't have any experience. What do you expect from a 19-year-old? And so I chose to become honest. I haven't always been honest. And I think that's something that we have to deal with when we are younger. We might lie to people. Like as a little kid, the lamp falls off, you know, the desk or the nightstand and breaks, and we deny we did it, right? It was an accident. We were playing. It fell off. It broke, but we are afraid of getting in trouble. We don't want to feel that rejection and the anger from one of our parents or both of them. We don't want to get in trouble. And so we resort to lying and blaming someone else. Like if you have siblings, they did it. Or I don't know who did it. None of us know who did it. It fell down by itself. Maybe the cat did it. And playing dumb and blatantly lying, that's how we get out of trouble, right? So it is advantageous to us, and it gets us out of trouble. But we hear ourselves lying, so now we know we can't be trusted. And so it has an effect on us and our own internal personal character, because even though we don't think anybody else knows, well, we know we lied, right? And so that's the most important thing. You don't really even think about that, but that's the most important thing. Being true to yourself, honest with yourself, and as soon as you choose to stand up for truth and be honest and own what you did, and at the same time, you know, saying it was an accident. That was not intentional. That was my mistake, but it was not intentional, as you can hear. And so I expect you to forgive me and to work together with me to resolve the situation, instead of blaming me and accusing me of intentionally causing some sort of harm or doing something wrong, when that would be the other person lying now, falsely accusing somebody of intention, when in fact there was no intention. And so intention is really important when it comes to something that happened. And so the parent needs to be accountable to themselves. And when one of their kids, you know, breaks a lamp, don't be too hard on them. Know that they did not intentionally break that lamp. Nobody wants trouble, right? And so, in school too, kids go crazy, you know. They aren't intentionally trying to go crazy. It's just part of being a kid. It's impulsive. They have lots of energy. And teachers and parents need to not blame their kids as if they're intentionally doing something wrong just because they're acting like kids. Or they're being kids. They're not acting. They are being kids. So we need to Be merciful. Mercy. What is mercy? Look that word up to get the actual definition, but I can tell you what it is in my 59 years of experience. Mercy is not being harsh, not using your authority to come down on someone, especially when they made a mistake, they messed up, they failed at something, they did not do well, they messed something up, but it was unintentional. And intent is very important. It's the difference between somebody that's on your side and trying to do the right thing versus somebody that is maliciously, intentionally trying to sabotage you. You need to assume that somebody is trying to do the right thing and it was just an accident. We need to assume that it was an accident. We need to forgive them and show them mercy. Allow them to explain what happened without being mean or mad at them. And then release them. Tell them it's okay. We can fix it together. And that's showing true leadership, whether you're a parent or a teacher, an older sibling, a friend. Be kind to that person that messes something up and work with them to fix it. That would be the person that screws something up unintentionally. On the other side, if you see someone who's not your friend, you don't really know them, they're either an employee or just someone that came in out of the blue, and they screw something up or break something, they're unapologetic, or they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but you can tell it's sarcastic, you feel like it's intentional, that would be different, right? But we still can't determine intent until we ask them to help to fix it. If they refuse to help fix the problem, then that is evidence that action they took was intentional. If they have no desire to help or to fix the problem, then that demonstrates an intent to break and to keep that problem as a problem. So it's important to be watchful, to be observant, and to separate people that are honest versus people that are a little con artists. And it can be difficult at times to tell the difference. So we need to reserve judgment and not be impulsive. We need to learn self-control inside of ourselves. We need to control our emotions. Don't automatically assume that somebody did something wrong and it was intentional, right? We need to evaluate, be self-controlled, think instead of getting emotional, think instead of judging, think instead of condemning, think instead of accusing, right? We need to think about the situation and then ask questions calmly. How did this happen? Why did you do this? If they say, I knocked over the lamp. Why did you knock over the lamp? It was an accident. We were playing and I accidentally bumped over the lamp. And you need to believe them when they say that. And then say, can you help me pick up the pieces? Yes, I will help you pick up the pieces. That's an honest person who made an honest mistake. Okay? Versus the person who says, I don't know who knocked over that lamp. I hated that lamp though. I'm glad it happened. I'm not going to help you clean that up. That's a different story. That's the person that, if you're a parent, that person needs to sit in timeout or needs to go to their room or needs a privilege taken away or however you handle your discipline. Just make sure not to be physically abusive and don't cuss them out. You don't need to be hostile. But somebody who intentionally and shows defiance, they intentionally are wrecking your house or damaging your stuff. As a parent to a kid, they need to have some sort of punishment for that behavior. And you need to explain why that's a bad thing. This is your house too. This lamp, that was your lamp. If you didn't like that lamp, you just need to tell somebody, maybe we can get a nicer lamp that you like. Especially if it's in your room and you hate it and you kick it over to destroy it. Well, you didn't need to do that. You can just tell, your mom or your dad, say, I hate this lamp, can I have a different one? Just use words, right, to describe how you really feel honestly. That's where honesty comes in. Instead of staying silent and keeping it all to yourself and destroying something, just be honest and share your feelings, and hopefully your parents will work with you to change things for you. I know that's not always the case, but destruction is never the right answer, especially when it comes to your own family's property, your own personal property, or someone else's property. That could get you into legal trouble as an adult. If you decide you're mad at somebody as an adult, and you decide you want to key their car or you want to break some of their property, well, they can hire a lawyer because there's cameras all around, and likely somebody has video of you doing that, and you're going to get in trouble for that. So that's the truth. In a video, videos are honest. Videos are not going to try to hide anything. Videos show the honest truth. And so we as people can learn from video. They show the whole truth. They're not trying to hide anything. They're not afraid of the truth. And so we trust untouched video. And just know that, there's touched and untouched video where it's been, a lot of, when it comes to stuff that's online, almost all of it has been touched up in some way, right? Your own picture online, you've probably touched it up to make it look better, right? That's just human nature. We want to, present our best selves. And especially when we're younger, we are pressured to be dishonest so that we look better. So it looks like we have more experience, or we look better in a video or a picture or selfie. We want to appear good. We want to look perfect to the public, and hide all of that crazy stuff going on at home, right? We want to hide it. It makes sense. So as we develop emotionally, as our minds develop, as we get older, into our 20s and 30s, we need to learn to become honest first with ourselves, like do a self-evaluation. What kind of person am I? What do I need to get out of my life? I need to stop lying to people. I need to stop cheating people. I need to stop scamming people. I need to stop looking for ways to rob people. I need to start living an honest life where I am upfront with people, and we start with relationships, being honest with ourselves, where we look in the mirror and you commit and say, I'm going to be honest with myself going forward. I'm going to stop lying to myself and pretending. I'm going to tell the truth to myself, and I'm going to look at my own personal dirt. I'm going to confront it. I'm going to forgive myself for my past. I'm going to develop a plan on how to become a better person by being honest with my parents, with my siblings, with my friends, with my teachers, with my coworkers, with my boss. And it's about your integrity. This is not about manipulating other people to get what you want. This is about you demonstrating your personal integrity, because you are the one you're the only one that's with you all of your life. And so being an honest person is a huge deal. There are lots of honest, good people out there. And so those are the people you want to find and become friends with. They are consistent, they're kind, they're polite, they're typically pretty quiet, they don't bully other people. they're just nice people. And so look for those people and be honest with them, be kind to them, listen to them, and they need to be willing to listen to you. And if they don't talk very much and you don't talk very much, and each of you allows silent time to think and to listen, that's a good relationship. Both of you stay calm and just make observations. You can laugh, but don't make fun of other people. Don't get angry at other people. Don't lie to other people. You can be avoidant of conflict, but avoid lying. And that's, finding friends that are honest will help to challenge you to stay honest, so you can be more like those honest people. And that's all a part of ethics, being honest. And one of the biggest challenges for people that are in religion is facing the truth. Most people that are in religion choose a delusion instead of being honest, instead of integrity. It's similar to Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, these fictions that we are told as little kids, and then we go straight into religion and we're expected to believe that as well, despite zero evidence in the real world. Yeah, that's a problem. Little kids are expected to believe that Santa Claus comes down the chimney. There's no chimney, so how does he get in? Well, he just kind of, they make something up. Or you don't ask questions. You just accept whatever you're told. He comes down the chimney, okay. Oh, there's no chimney, okay, well, he must do it. Maybe I just don't know how he does it. Yeah, that must be it. No. So parents should not lie to their kids. My opinion, that's how you get your kids to be honest. Don't lie to them. Parents need to set the example and be honest with their kids. It's good to hide some harsh adult type truths, like bills and where's the food going to come from this time. You want to shelter them somewhat as little kids, but you also need to help them eventually, when they become 10, 11, and 12 years old. Start letting them in on the harsh truth of reality. Let them know that life is not always easy, and allow them to help, and be honest with them. Let them know, that we tell some stories because they're fun, but we also need to let them know that this is just a fun thing. This is not real. This is just a fun little thing that we do. It's pretend. Use that word, pretend. We are pretending like Santa Claus comes and gives everybody a present. We are pretending like the Tooth Fairy comes and gives you money for a tooth. Let's pretend together. Pretending is what kids love to do, right? And learning why that is very important. It goes back to our Creator, where we have an imagination and we can turn that imagination into reality, right? And that's what people have been doing with these cities, cars, airplanes, computers. It came straight out of human imagination. Where does that imagination come from? Where do we come up with these ideas? And why do people have these, why do we pretend as little kids? Where do these dreams come from? Where do fantasies come from? It's all part of our creative origins from a creator that created everything. That creator is creative, makes stuff up out of thin air, right? Makes it a reality. And so we as people, we are also creative. And I think that, there should be a separation. There's religion, human created religion, where you have to do things that some religious people say that you have to do, such as no dancing allowed, no smoking allowed, No pants allowed. This is not allowed. This is not allowed. You have to do this. You have to do that. Rules. And if you don't follow the rules, you get kicked out of our little club. That's religion. But it's more like a spiritual type side where you don't see it, but you see the evidence of it. Like creation, everything around you. Why does it exist? How is there life on Earth? Was it just spontaneous, or is there an actual creator out there? Scientists themselves say that this is impossible for any of this to exist. Everything in the universe is unscientific. It shouldn't exist. Now we, as scientists, can describe and can show how patterns, we call them physical laws, physics. We call these physical laws because from our standpoint on Earth, it's consistent. But those laws of physics are not really laws. It's just patterns, the way it has always been in our Earth environment. And so we can rely on that, like gravity, acceleration, density, all of the elements, the mass, atomic mass, the different elements like hydrogen and helium and oxygen and nitrogen, all those things remain consistent. There's set building blocks that come together to form the elements that are on Earth, from the dirt we stand on, to the air we breathe, to the metals, to the foam that you're looking at, to our physical bodies. All of it is made out of elements. So how did life get here? Yeah, nobody knows. We have lots of made up stories. Those spontaneous. The carbon, combined with this, and some lightning hit it, or it was spontaneous, and then it evolved into all these other things, and that's how it all happened. And we're just expected to believe that, and they teach that as if it's fact. It's not fact. It's a theory, and they have lots of explanations, but there's also lots of assumptions that they expect us to believe. And if you don't believe it, kind of like a religion, if you don't believe it, then they treat you like you're an idiot or you're not part of their club. So scientists can become like a religion, where you have to believe what they believe or you're seen as an idiot or as not part of their club. And so remember how the little group dynamic works, and how we have pushy, bossy people that become the leaders, and they establish what the rules are, and you have to believe certain things even if they're unscientific in the scientific world. If you question that, well, I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with you, right? But as a scientist, you need to question everything. And religion itself hates people who question things. Well, how do you know this? How do you know Jesus is coming back? Well, why didn't this happen? Where are all the miracles today? How come there's no scientific evidence of miracles? Why aren't there any miracles on video, right? So when you start challenging things and saying, where's the evidence to prove this, that quickly demonstrates that there are some issues with religion. And of course, the religious people are going to push back and say, well, it's based on faith. And if you don't believe, then you're the problem. Well, the problem is trying to fool people into believing things that aren't true. That is a deception, and we need to be wary of that. And we need to be careful not to let others deceive us, since we're all human beings, and any one of us can be easily fooled. And so be on your guard, don't be fooled, but don't be discouraged. Don't assume that everybody's a liar and everybody's out to try to trick you. That's not always true. There are a lot of good, honest people out there, and it's hard to tell the difference, especially when somebody is an intentional con artist pretending to be an honest person with the intention of trying to trick you. So they have an alternate motive. And that's where you have to be very watchful and look for those subtle cues that will let you in on their deception. One important factor is money. Watch for people that are trying to get your money. They might come off as really honest, good people. They really want to help you. They're very passionate. They will tell you that they love God, or they they have their story. But then at some point, they want to use you for something. They want to leverage your skills. They want to use you as a volunteer to help them in some way, or they want you to contribute to their cause. They want your money. Please help us. We're trying to save puppies and little kittens. We're trying to help abused children. We're trying to help little children that are disabled. Please help. If you don't help, they'll all die, and it'll be because of you. And so they use guilt. They use guilt. And they use your weakness. They will target older people, women in particular, older women. They have lots of money, and they're watching TV at 11 p.m. at night, and of course the commercials come on. Oh, please help all these puppies and kittens and these disabled children. Boy, they really need your help. Please contribute, only $10 a month. And, now they're making billions of dollars because they have millions of old grandmas, each paying $10 a month. And so there's a huge revenue stream going to that organization, whoever came out with that commercial, and they're living it up. They're buying cars and houses and boats, and very little of that money is going towards helping anyone. They have to contribute some, but all that extra money goes straight into their bank account. A lot of them will have salaries, that are $1 million. I can name organizations, but I won't do it. But you need to be watchful for those nonprofit organizations that pretend to be loving, helping, caring organizations. And you need to look up to see how much the executives are making. You'll be surprised and disappointed to know that they are cashing in. And so we just need to be cautious and wary anytime anybody is trying to get money from us. And they will use our own compassion against us. Not all of them, but most of them, especially if they're on TV doing a commercial. Yeah, those are professional con artists. And so if you want to be compassionate and help people, help those people that are around you, starting with your neighbors, young families that are neighbors around you. Help them if they need help. Be a friend to them. Get to know who they are. That's the most important thing you can do, is become actual real friends with the people that live around you. You can try to be coworkers, but often coworkers see friendship as a leverage tool. So it won't be an honest relationship. They'll be using you as a leverage to get to a higher point in their own career. And so, typically employees are not honest friends. I would go with your neighbors that live around you. Those people are most likely to be honest people around you. Most others are going to be using your friendly nature to leverage you in some way or another. But you as a person, definitely learn how to become an ethical person. Ethics consists of honesty, integrity, truthfulness, of course, kindness, just being kind to animals, to living things around you, especially smaller things that aren't trying to hurt you. Let them live, right? Compassion, feeling, for other people. If somebody's hurting, be compassionate. But you need to distinguish that from people that are at a corner with a sign saying words where, oh, I'm homeless, and oh, I haven't eaten for a week, and oh, I have all these problems. Well, maybe they're lying. Okay, you need to think about that. This is a perfect stranger on a corner trying to make money, trying to hustle. That's what that is. It's hustling for money. I would not trust them. I would stick with your neighbors. Help them if they need help. Those are the most honest people. And then you can spontaneously give, but it needs to be directed by you. You need to choose who to help, and help those people that are not asking for help. Help people that you can see need help, but are not asking for help. Hope that makes sense. It needs to be you directed. And I need to learn to remember to ask for the whole like and subscribe thing at the beginning, right? Because at this point, most people are not watching and have left. And so asking you to like or subscribe, first it just sounds hokey to me, but apparently it's a necessary thing if you want to grow a channel. But I just think it's perverse for some reason. This YouTube owned by Google and feeling like I'm begging. I don't know, but I should do that. I should not feel like it's begging. So I need to change the way I see that as a normal thing and not as a begging type thing. It's more of just a reminder, right? And it's a way to get other people to watch this. And I need to remember that I'm saying things that where I'm free of charge trying to help other people to become better people. And so I would like for the most people possible to watch this video. I have a college degree as a professional school teacher. I have grown up in Christianity as a preacher's kid, so I have learned all about religion. I've also learned about becoming an honest person. I'm 59 years old now, have 4 raised kids. I've been married twice. I've been in the military. I was in the Army Reserves, so I got all the basic training in AIT. I then flipped over to the officer side and did all of that. Learned about, integrity, being part of the military. And so if you look at police organizations, the military, the FBI, they all embrace, at least at the front, they, on their the things they put on the front lobbies and on their badges, integrity, fidelity, right? And so integrity is a part of ethics, and integrity is being an honest person inside and out, being true to yourself and getting rid of all of the sneaky, weaselly stuff we learn to do as kids. We need to choose to reject that and become honest people. And so it can be a process. It can take a lot of time to become a good person. Some people are good people, right off the bat. But other people, it's a struggle and they have to choose to become good people. And so, again, other people never become good people. They are sneaky weasels their whole life and they'll never change. And so we need to be careful about that, and we need to be careful not to follow those sneaky con artists that appear to be good people, but they're actually hustling your money. And so pay attention to where your money goes. You need to not contribute to wealthy organizations. They don't need more money. So hold your money up tight, pay your bills, and learn to save your money. Get good credit. If you're young, learn how to get good credit, but don't use credit cards. Use good credit to get good credit, or use your money to buy small priced items that are $100, maybe $50, and then pay those off quickly within the month so you have a zero balance. Do that 2 or 3 times, and then don't use that credit card ever again. And if you don't have any self-control, tear that credit card up and throw it in the trash so you can't use it again. Because if you don't have self-control, you'll max out that card and now you're deep in debt with no way to pay it off. Now the high interest, excuse me, okay, I need to end this video. The high interest will really get you. So just be careful about that. That's credit cards are another form of deception. These are con artists using your own greed for things and your need for things. They're using your poverty to trick you into having a credit card so they can charge you interest and they make money off of you because you can't control yourself. You can't wait because you have no self-control. And so that's a whole nother issue, but it is related to ethics and integrity. Banks do not have integrity. They are trying to rip you off. While you might have savings, credit cards, they're trying to rip you off. They're trying to use your impulsivity, your greed for things, your materialism, your inability to control yourself to get you in debt. And so most of America is deep in debt because of that. And so when we learn integrity and self-control as a part of ethics, we learn how to control ourselves. We choose not to be greedy. We learn how to save our money, to be self-disciplined. And that's part of the military, self-discipline. But we can learn how to do that ourselves. We can learn how to control ourselves, save our money, and not use credit cards to buy things. We use credit cards as our own personal advantage for getting good credit so we can buy a home when it's the right time. But we don't use a credit card to buy things we want impulsively. It's a very bad thing to do. Leave that credit card at home, put it in a drawer, never use it, or cut it up if you can't control yourself, and just buy in cash. Or what I do is I have a bank account and just use the credit part of your debit card to just pull money out of your checking account whenever you need to buy groceries or a pair of socks or clothing. So that's the way you do it. And save money all you can. Don't spend it as soon as you get it. Learn how to have self-discipline, save your money, and eventually buy land. That's your ultimate goal if you're young. Save money to buy land. All right, that's long enough. Hope somebody will watch this eventually. And I need to make these shorter, and I need to do the whole like and subscribe thing sooner. So, all right, I'm out for now. Ugh. Oof.